This interview was never supposed to be made public. And yet, here you are, reading it. In 1954, just a year before his passing, Albert Einstein is said to have given a private conversation that was instantly suppressed. To this day, mainstream science denies that it ever occurred. But in the 21st century, from the recovered archives of one of his dearest friends, Dr. Kurt Good, these words have resurfaced. This is no ordinary interview. It is a revelation, the contemplations of a genius about what lies beyond our final horizon, beyond death. It may sound like a myth, a fantasy, or even a hoax. But in 2022, Gödel's handwritten document was uncovered in a hidden compartment of an old safe in Princeton. It began with chilling words. These confessions may change humanity or destroy it. The journalist, who remained unnamed, asked his first question. Professor Einstein, do you believe in life after death? A pause. The manuscript records a long silence, then a slight smile. To believe, Einstein said, is not quite right. At my age, I prefer to know. The journalist, caught off guard, pushed on. But your science has always denied the soul. Not my science, Einstein corrected. Science, as popularly understood, is restricted to what can be seen and measured. But it is blind to what lies beyond equations. He leaned forward. Listen closely. What I say must remain between us, at least until the world is ready. Life does not end with death. This is not speculation. It is truth. I discovered it not through physics, but through the mathematics of time and space. The journalist, stunned, whispered, You mean a soul? Heaven. Einstein replied, I speak of continuation, transformation. Picture a wave on the sea. While the wind blows, it rises. When the wind stops, the wave vanishes, but the water remains. So too does human consciousness. The body is a vessel. When it dies, consciousness returns to its source. The journalist struggled to absorb this. But how does this align with relativity? Einstein smiled gently. Relativity speaks of matter and energy. But one component has always been missing, the observer. Consciousness is not born of matter. It is the origin. The universe exists only because it is perceived. Mystics knew this. I arrived at it through numbers. He continued, quantum mechanics, entanglement, the double-slit experiment. It all leads to a profound conclusion. Consciousness creates reality. And when the body dies, consciousness doesn't vanish. It returns to source, to perception. The journalist leaned in. Then do you believe in God? Not as a person, Einstein said. Not an old man in the clouds. God is the ocean itself. All beings are waves upon it. No one who has ever lived is truly gone. Death is not an end, it is a return. The wind outside rustled faintly. It was a cold and restless spring in 1954. The journalist hesitated, then asked, Forgive me, but how can a man of science speak so metaphysically? Einstein's expression deepened. You think this is belief? It is observation, patterns. My work on the unified field theory revealed that everything, matter, energy, and awareness, is part of one structure. The atom was thought to be reality's foundation. But beyond the atom is emptiness. And beyond that, vibration. And then he paused. Mind. Have you heard of the Einstein-Podolsky-Rosen paradox? Quantum entanglement, the journalist replied. Two particles remain linked across distance. Exactly, Einstein said. But it's more than physics. It's a clue, a message. If particles remain connected across space, why not consciousnesses across death? The air in the room grew still. So you believe consciousness is non-local? Yes, Einstein nodded. It is not confined to the brain. The brain is an antenna, a receiver. When it dies, the channel ends, but the signal remains. Just like radio waves, still present even if the radio breaks. The journalist's hand trembled. Why now? Why share this today? Because I am near the end, Einstein said. This truth cannot die with me. Humanity is nearing its greatest realization, that death is not the enemy. It is a passage. But revealed too early, it can be misused for control, for manipulation. That is why I've been silent. But the age of materialism is ending. A new synthesis is coming between science and spirit. Then the path will open. The clock chimed 12 times. The journalist wrote, the chimes felt symbolic, as if the universe affirmed what had just been said. What awaits us beyond? Einstein continued. It depends. Those who lived for power, pleasure, ego, they remain bound to lower planes. But those who loved, who served, who searched for truth, they ascend. They return to the source. Perhaps they begin anew. I do not believe the cycle ends. It repeats until we are ready. That is rebirth. The journalist asked softly, rebirth? Yes, Einstein confirmed. But not automatic. It is a choice. Free will is the ultimate law. When consciousness is ready, it can leave the cycle. What mystics called liberation. Not death of identity, but merging into the ocean of light. No pain, no fear, only love. He gazed at the dark sky. We are travelers, and death is not a wall. It is a door. Silence. The journalist felt that one more question could shatter him, but he asked anyway. Why don't others speak of this? Other great minds? Einstein sighed. Because the truth is too simple and too dangerous. Scientists fear ridicule. Religions fear losing control. Politicians fear losing power. Truth is free, and those in control fear freedom. Newton knew. So did Planck. Tesla. Even Darwin suspected something greater by the end. But all were silent or spoke in riddles. So was I. Until now. The journalist's heart pounded. Recently, Einstein said, I revisited E equals mc squared. It shows the unity of mass and energy. But there is a third form, consciousness. It is energy too, subtle, but real. And when the body dies, that energy transforms. Some call it soul, Atman, quantum consciousness. The names do not matter. It continues. Then death is. Death exists, Einstein said. But not as we think. There is death of body, of identity, but not of essence. Energy cannot be destroyed, only changed. So it is with consciousness. All who ever lived still exist. In other forms, other layers, in what some call the Akasha. And we are always connected to it. That's why we feel intuition, déjà vu echoes of the field. The journalist nodded, remembering his own inexplicable moments. But if this is true, why suffering? Pain is a teacher, Einstein replied. Without it, there is no growth. Just as muscles strengthen with resistance, the spirit deepens through trials. Each life is a lesson, even the harshest ones. When we leave here, we will understand. No one was ever alone. Every path leads to unity. The clock struck again. 1 in the morning. But I must warn you, Einstein said, growing firm. There is danger. Humanity is dividing. Technology grows, but ethics lag. We forget our oneness. We see enemies where we should see mirrors. If we forget who we truly are, we may not survive. The choice is ours, to awaken or to fall. He looked directly at the journalist. That's why I gave this interview. Maybe my last. Let it remind us, death is not the end. The enemy is not each other. It is ignorance. Knowledge is light, and light conquers darkness. The journalist was overcome. It felt like a truth that could change the future. Share this only with those ready to hear, Einstein added. Truth cannot be forced. Each must arrive at it in their own time. The real question is not what lies beyond death, but how we choose to live before it. And remember, only love is eternal. The journalist hesitated. One final question. Can consciousness after death be proven? Einstein leaned back, gazing beyond. Science demands measurement. But some truths cannot be weighed. They simply are. Past life memories in children. Near-death accounts. Quantum phenomena. They suggest connections beyond material reality. Denial isn't disproof. Quantum physics has cracked materialism's wall. Space is not empty. Matter is illusion. All is energy. All is mind. He continued. One day, new instruments will detect consciousness fields after death. It's just a matter of time. But even if proven tomorrow, it won't solve the true task. What task? The journalist asked. To change how we live. Knowing death is not the end should elevate us. If we understood that all our thoughts and actions echo in the fabric of reality, the world would transform. But are we ready? Just then, the office door creaked. A woman in black entered, the housekeeper. Excuse me. It's late. Professor, you need rest. Einstein nodded. Eyes still on the journalist. I'm tired. The body weakens. But the spirit, it moves on. If this is read in 10, 20, or 100 years, know this. I wasn't a mystic. I was a seeker of truth. And truth belongs not to science or religion, but to those who seek. He slowly rose. It's time to go. But this is not goodbye. We will meet again, where all paths merge. The journalist stood. Words failed him. Einstein whispered, Death is awakening for those ready to see. Their handshake was warm, human. Guard the light. The world isn't ready, but the time will come. He turned toward the window. Pale light was dawning. A lone thrush began to sing. Einstein whispered, In my youth, I thought the goal was to understand the universe. But the harder task is to understand ourselves. Science is learned, but life's meaning is discovered alone. He paused. We fear death because we fear losing. But there's nothing to lose. What's true remains: love, kindness, memory. It all endures. The journalist closed his notebook. Thank you, Professor. Einstein smiled. Don't repeat my words. Reflect on them. They shook hands again, quietly, sincerely. Live not in fear, live in pursuit. That is all that matters. The journalist stepped out into the morning chill. The door shut softly behind him. The world looked unchanged, but inside, everything had shifted. He walked through the budding trees of early spring and thought, it doesn't matter what lies beyond. What matters is how we live now. He wrote those words on the last page of his notebook and never opened it again. Thank you for reading to the end. If this story moved you, please like and share. It helps us bring thoughtful stories to more people. Subscribe for more. Share your thoughts in the comments. We read every one. And remember, truth doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers.